Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This time I'll be reading chapters 15 and 16. They're both fairly short. This is for day number 9 of the American Cancer Society Read-A-Thon. Again, information below on how to donate. And I've been reading The Eyes and the Impossible by Dave Eggers. If you like my content, please click like, subscribe, dingling the notification bell, all the good things. All right, let's get this going. Chapter 15. We left off at a very suspenseful part. Our boy Johannes here just rescued a little girl that fell into the peanut-shaped pond, and then he felt he had to get away quickly because he thought he was going to be in trouble with the humans. So let's find out what happened. Chapter 15. I've been looking for you all night, Bertrand said. It was dark, so dark, the purple kind of dark that made you feel like you were falling into it. I stayed hidden inside my hollow, afraid of being found or blamed, and most of all, afraid that the girl in the dress was no longer a child, but now a former child, a being no longer living. Now I found you. I did not think it was so clever to find me in my actual home, but I said nothing. I was aching. I was so twisted up inside, afraid to ask about the child. I couldn't ask. I wanted to be told. I waited for Bertrand to offer communication and information. The seconds were endless. What about the child? I thought. Oh, she's fine, he said casually. She woke up right after you left. Then everyone was looking for the hero dog, but you were gone. Why'd you leave? I got scared. She was blue, I said finally. Well, she's fine, and they took pictures of you so everyone knows what you did, Bertrand said. And immediately after he said it, I knew we had a problem. Hearing my troubled silence, Bertrand realized the problem too. If the humans knew what I looked like and what I had done, I would no longer be able to run freely and invisibly in the park, and everyone would be looking for me. And if everyone was looking for me, I could no longer be the eyes. I could no longer be free. Maybe it will be okay, Bertrand said, though his tone said quite the opposite. His tone said, it would not be okay. Whew, I'm glad the little girl is all right. That was quite scary for a moment. Phew. But yeah, now everybody knows what Johannes looks like, and if he can't roam around the park freely, he can't be the eyes, and we got a problem. The plot thickens, literally. Let's move on to chapter 16. On top of all this, I caught some kind of bug. I knew because the ducks liked it so much that the water in the pond was unclean, but ingesting it, ugh, it was far worse to have swallowed that water. What I contracted, I didn't know, but it gave me the sneezes and halved my energy. Yeah, you want to stay away from contaminated water. I stayed in my hollow for the day and the night after the rescue, and the day after that. Bertrand and I made a plan. To test the situation in the park, I would run as the eyes, and he would follow me from above. We would see which humans were out and about and might be watching for me. We would see if I could continue to be free. The sun was still rising above the trees when we set out, but immediately Johnson and Sharif, two of Angus's raccoon friends, stopped us. They were out of breath. They're everywhere, they said. Who? Bertrand asked. The humans, Johnson said. There are parks people and parks police and some kind of other police and people with huge cameras. They're all over the place. You can't go out there. They had one of those control the animal trucks, Sharif said. It was big. Every so often, the control the animals people come to the park to take out an animal who had bitten a human or an animal that was not where she or he was supposed to be. Yolanda was once pursued by the control the animals people when she had gone fishing in the peanut pond. It was a lesson to us all. Do not linger where you are not expected. Do not upset the humans' versions of the equilibrium. It did not mean that the turtles couldn't leave their pond or that I couldn't converse with the bison. It meant only that being too obvious or showy about any of these unexpected appearances would bring the control of the animals people, and they were not to be trifled with. They had cages and tranquilizer guns. I'd seen even the craftiest of raccoons taken in minutes. The gun would be pointed, the gun would go pop, the tranquilizer would go do its work, and the animal would be packed up in a cage and taken away. Where to, we never knew. Let's just wait a day, Bertrand said. The horses are sensing a storm later anyway. Hang on. These pages are thick, so it's hard telling if I meant the right one or not. There we go. So I stayed in my hollow. I remained hidden and listened and looked and thought. I thought about the strangeness of salvation. I had saved the girl, and now I was a hostage in my own home. I had allowed her to, if I had allowed her to sink or had simply watched and waited for someone else to save her, I would still be free. I would be able to run untethered, and she would probably be fine, saved by another. It seemed a clear truth that helping with anything or anyone at any time brought with it a unique kind of burden. Because I had always moved at the speed of light, I was unseen, and the unseen are uniquely free. But being slowed, stopping altogether, there were problems with this. I had been captured when I stopped to see the rectangles, and now I was hiding because I had stopped to save a girl. Stopping was a problem. Stopping meant captivity. Helping meant captivity. The wind outside picked up. But then again, I thought Bertrand and Yolanda and Sonia had helped me when I was a captive with the terrible travelers, and their interference returned me my freedom to me. So that was an undeniable good, I thought. Maybe it's always complicated. No help is simple because no one being helped is simple. The notion that everything was complicated was itself a sort of simple, and that made me smile. If we go through life assuming everything will be complicated, then then it is complicated, doesn't that make us better prepared? What I mean is, if we expect life to be complicated and life is complicated, then life is simple, right? I needed to tell Bertrand this thought I had, this wonderful circular idea I had. I had a feeling he'd like it. Then the rain began. It began with dusty taps on the earth around my hollow. The dry brown dirt around me got wet and went black. I listened to the rain grow from taps to slaps to the hush of rain when it comes in teeming hordes. I decided I could wait to tell Bertrand my new idea. Rain is only rain, I thought drowsily. I slept on and off throughout the day and realized I was overtired. I needed rest. I needed this time alone with all this tiny water from the sky. I smelled the sweet eucalyptus on the wind, such a sweet smell when mixed with fresh rain. There are some complicated thoughts there, and he used the word complicated quite a lot. What do you think? Was Johannes right to save the girl? I think so. Is it a bad thing that he may lose some of his freedom? I don't know. It depends on what happens. But yeah, it's kind of like with Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. I'm curious to know what will happen next. Tune in next time. Roma, Rila, and Krishna, Auntie Heather loves you very much. And I love the rest of you too. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.